Welcome to the Heal Yourself podcast, where we dive deep into all things healing. I'm Denise, a speech language pathologist and a self-love coach for adults and teens.
And I'm Kira, a traditional naturopath and functional nutritionist, and we are here to guide you through the transformative process of healing your body, mind, and soul.
From the latest in functional medicine to nurturing your relationship with yourself, healing trauma, and even transforming your money story, we're here to empower you with the knowledge and tools to create lasting change.
So whether you're looking to heal physically, emotionally, or spiritually, join us as we explore the many paths to wholeness and wellness. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Heal Yourself podcast. Denise and I are on today to talk about how to get the hell out of your own way.
Yes, ma'am. Let's do this.
So you actually were the one that brought up this idea. So what was in your head? Like, what brought that in your mind of this topic? Because obviously I love this topic, but like, what sparked it for you?
Because one, I stand in my own way and I recognize that. So I was like, ooh, if I am still doing this, then it will probably be a very good topic to talk about. Also, one to remind ourselves, because remember, you and I do this for others, but we also do it for ourselves. And also, I hear a lot of people around me, and I see, and I, like, for example, they tell me something and then I see their actions and I'm like, oh my goodness, you're standing in your own way, but I'm not going to tell them that. So that's why I was like, maybe I can say it in the podcast.
Maybe they'll hear it and it'll
Maybe they'll
absorb that
hear
way.
it. And they're like, ooh, she's talking about me. Okay, Denise. But anyway, if you think I'm talking about you, I love you. But yeah, it just kind of because like I just see it and I see it in myself. I see it in my child. I see it in my daughter. I see it in other people. So I was like, hey, Kira, what do you think we address it? Because sometimes we do need this nudge and this reminder.
We do. And the thing is we are the thing that stands in our own way. I mean, you and I say it, we see it everywhere. I've heard it from mentors of like, if you are not living the life that you desire, it's because of you, which is
Yeah,
a hard one to, you know what I mean, to
it
swallow, but
is.
it's true.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it before, and I don't remember which episode it was, but we talked about like, I mean, if you want change, you gotta hold yourself accountable,
Yeah.
right? You gotta look in the mirror and be like, I do this, this, and this. I eat this. I mean, any area in your life, because if you're not gonna look at it, that's considered denial, and you're denying looking at something. Like, for example, if someone's having financial difficulties and they keep not looking at the bank account, you're being in denial,
Mm.
right? If someone's having health issues and all they care about is other things, like for example, the business or the job or the whatever, and they're not focusing on health, what do you do? You're not looking. You're also denying that part of you, which is sacred.
Yeah, it is. And,
Yeah.
I'm going to do another take on this too, because I just got off a coaching call with a client. And one of the questions I always ask new clients is, if you knew, what do you think is driving these health issues? What do you think is, you know what I mean? Like holding you back from healing. And it's always interesting the answers that I get. She sat there
Hmm.
for a minute and she goes, I'm not fully living my purpose. Ding, ding, ding. You're holding
Hmm.
yourself back because you don't want to put these boundaries. You don't want to be uncomfortable. You don't want to make someone else uncomfortable. You're scared of what the outcome could be. It's like we have to be that real with ourselves if we truly want change and we truly want to live this amazing life.
Absolutely. And I'm writing things down as you're going. And I didn't just hear it from one person. I've heard it a long time ago and I keep hearing it and I know how true it is that we have the answers. So, meaning, but we give our power away too much. For example, and I'm not saying, of course, going to therapy is great, absolutely. However, what does the therapist do a lot of the time, or the coach, or for you, for example, when you're working with clients, or me when I work with clients or with people, it's always you're asking questions, right? You're asking the follow-up questions. And that moment of reflection is when they come up with the answer, that is the aha moment. So what are we doing a lot of the times? We are giving our power away to, and sometimes we don't want to make a decision. Oh, what do you think? I'll be like, texting this and that, and what do you think? And I'm looking for answers outside of
Yeah.
myself versus there's nothing wrong with taking someone's opinion, someone's advice. What do you have tip for me? Like if you're an expert on this, like I, ask you so many questions and you do the same. But ultimately, it's me,
Yep.
right? It is, I'm taking your advice, but sometimes also, please don't forget, and I would like to put this out there. Sometimes no matter what the advice, it could be the best advice ever, but that may not be your advice for you. Why? Because that person giving you advice has different life experiences,
Mm.
has different projections, has different things that they went through. So take into consideration, but do what applies for you, for
Yeah.
your own experiences. So, and then Dr. Gabor, I have to also, talk about it too. You got to be honest with yourself. Like, stop lying to yourself. And,
Mhm.
like that's, stop lying to yourself.
I mean, it's true though, because we all do it, right? Just like I said, using her as an example, and so many other clients I've worked with over the years, it's like we don't want to admit that. We want things to be outside of us because it's so much easier if someone else just tells me what's wrong and how to fix it. And it's like, okay, well, that's a whole other podcast episode because you're not broken. But it's the same thing in every aspect of our life. Oh, my relationship's not going well. Tell me what to do. I'm having financial troubles. Tell me what I need to do. And it's looking for that. And I've been guilty of it. I mean, you know this. Like, I'm the person who has hired a million different business mentors because I was like, well, my business isn't growing. It's obviously something I'm doing. So I need someone else to tell me exactly what to do. Well, just because
What
that
have you
worked for
learned
them,
from that?
because they're different. That's what I
Yes.
learned. I
Yeah.
know enough, and it's me holding myself back. It's not that I needed to know more. I was putting all of that in someone else and saying, well, I must be doing it wrong because it worked for them. Just because someone has a system, even if it's a proven system, I'm even going to say myself, let's say you want to come work with someone like me for IBS. Sure, I have a proven system that works. Does it mean that it's going to work for you 100%? No, because if you haven't done some of that inner stuff, kind of like me with the business, it's not going to work, you
Yeah.
know?
And we do, I know that we said that it's important to recognize the patterns. It's supposed to recognize what is stopping you, right? I know that it's in the terms, they're called self-sabotage patterns. However, you and I listened to Dr. Wood when we were in Arizona, and we don't sabotage ourselves. We don't destruct ourselves. Is basically how our subconscious mind has been trained to help us survive, right?
Yeah.
It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's saving you. It's wanting to help you, right? Like how like the mom wants to save her child, but sometimes when you overdo it, your child doesn't know what to do anymore by themselves, right? So these are the patterns that you want to recognize. Do I get stuck and not start because I want everything to be perfect? Is perfectionism stopping me? That's number two. I overanalyze a lot. Overanalyze. I'm guilty as charged, right? So same. Am I overanalyzing? Am I thinking too much about it? Am I overthinking it? Right? Another thing, procrastination. Why am I leaving things to the last minute? I know for myself, I thrive on chaos due to how I grew up.
Mhm.
I grew up in the war. There was some moments of calm, absolutely, but from birth to seven, no, it was active war, and we had to run, and I had to hear all that and see people run, etc. So I thrive in that environment. So that's another thing that I recognize. Like,
Mhm.
why am I leaving myself to the last minute? So now I try, for example, I have a report due in a week, And I'm like, why do I need to wait for a week? I can write it now, and I do. And then I feel way better and I'm calmer and I'm training my nervous system to be calm, to regulate versus like that.
And that you just said something that I want to touch on too, because it does go back to patterns. So a lot of times people say, I thrive off of stress. I thrive off of this. I did not grow up in a war zone, but I'm like you in the sense that I've always felt like, oh, I can procrastinate. I thrive when it's chaotic and crazy, and I'm really good at working through stress. It's like, are you really? Or is that a pattern that you have not recognized? And that's holding you back. That's holding you back from so many different aspects of healing, but it's a childhood thing. And I think we don't look at that. And the piece here is just to look at your life, right? If there's things that aren't going well, start looking at where it's coming from, and it's coming from you, but but why? You know what I mean? Like I would have never recognized that. I don't know. It took me years to recognize that like I thrived in chaos. But it's like, no,
Yeah.
you don't. Nobody thrives in chaos.
No, no, but you're
That's
not supposed to thrive in chaos.
and that's going back to what you
No,
said. That's the safety. That's the thermostat. That's my safety thermostat, right? Like that's my normal, but it doesn't mean that that's good.
no, no, exactly. What was the quote? Oh my goodness. Well, how does it go? Like kind of like repeat the same patterns and or make the same mistakes and call it fate or something like that. Like there's
I
a
don't know.
quote about that where basically you're kind of repeating the same thing and recognizing I do this, but I'm gonna keep going and not do anything
Mm-mm.
about it. And then I'm gonna say, oh, this is my life, this is my fate, this is this. I'm gonna throw the
Yep.
towel. But that's what are you doing? And I have to go back to always, like prayer. Prayer is amazing, and I love prayer, and I pray a lot. But I think there's a misconception of prayer. Sometimes when you pray, you're expecting, like maybe something or someone or a holy, I don't know what you're looking for, to actually giving you like, here's the playbook. Here's what. No, it is you at the end of the day,
Hmm.
right? It is you. And we said that, and we keep saying that. So, yeah, we are the one who resist our change. We are the ones who give our power away. We are the ones who give our energy away. And we are the ones who can take it back. We are the ones who can claim that. And we are the ones who can accept where we're at and then aim for more. And I'm not saying, oh, it's going to be all rainbows and daisies and everything's
Hmm.
going to be positive. No, 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 no. I'm reading the surrender book, not surrender, what is it called? Stillness and Presence by Eckhart Tolle. You can feel all the emotions you want to, but accept it versus, okay, at this moment, I feel this. I'm accepting this situation versus having to overanalyze. Why do I feel this way? What's going on? I'm not supposed to be feeling this way. I'm supposed to be positive, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's at the end of the day, we are in our own way in every aspect of our lives. And I think the call to action is for everyone to take a look in the mirror. Where in my life are things not working for me? And what is driving that? That's within me, right? Stop looking for, okay, wait, who can I go hire for that? Or, oh gosh, why isn't this working? You know what? My partner, he sucks. Or, my
Blame it on the
kids,
partner.
you know what I mean? But people very easily go into blame. Or, oh, it's just because I grew up like that, and we can get stuck in that too. Yes, you're going to have patterns from your childhood. We can't blame your childhood. You've had decades of opportunities to change things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So take
And
that look in the mirror and start seeing, okay, this isn't going well in my life. What am I not doing? Or who am I not being?
yes,
Both.
there we go. There we go. You nailed it. Mic drop.
Yeah,
What am I not doing? Yeah, or both, or both. And then
it's both.
owning your choices equal accountability. And we've said it many times and we'll continue saying it. In order to change anything, you got to look in the mirror. You got to be accountable. You got to tell yourself, I did this.
Yeah.
Right, the anything, whether it's the health, whether it is the finances, the business, the job, the relationship, whatever it is, it's you. All of the choices led you here. Guess what though? Guess what? It's a choice. It's a thought. The thought can be changed, like Louise Hay says,
Hmm.
and the choice can be changed.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I get it. We all had rough childhood. Maybe not all of us, but we had different things, different limiting beliefs, different
Hmm.
stories. But guess what? We're adults now. We have the tools. We have the strategies. We can take control and be like, I can do things differently. And not just for me. I'm not just doing things differently for me. I'm doing things differently also for my kids. So they don't repeat
Same.
what I was taught.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I actually want to dig into that one a little bit. Um, because I know, like, somebody just asked me on social media about money, and I'm like, I'm not a money coach. In fact, kind of ironic because you know my history with money. But this is a great opportunity for, okay, well, I'm not standing in my own way. I just have a job that doesn't pay well. I just don't make much money. Well, why is that? This is also a really hard one, and I know you and I can touch on that because you have made a conscious effort with how you raise your kids, and it's been something that I've really been working on of when we're going places and Tab wants like 20,000 things from Target, like okay, you don't need that or we you know what I mean? Like making that effort of not saying we can't afford that because that's not true. I just don't want to buy it. But I heard that a lot growing up. Can't
Hmm.
afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees, yada, yada, yada. And so growing up, as I got older, that was a circumstantial thing. And that's how I was in my own way, was thinking, well, oh my gosh, it's so hard to make money.
Right, right. And then you were also sometimes projecting it on your clients,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I remember when I first, I'm not sure if our audience knows the story, but from 21 to about what, 22, 23, I did work at the auto shop that my husband owns. It's a family business. He's owned it for a while. And I noticed like how much because when I first came in, there was a receptionist in the front, and she was the one calling and selling the jobs, etc. And I noticed not just her, the whole culture of the shop. It's like, oh my goodness, what if they can't afford it? What if is this too expensive? And I just came in and I told them, and I was like, why are y'all analyzing other people's, finances? Do you know their finances?
Yeah.
I don't know their finances. And stop judging their finances by the car they drive or by the clothes they wear. They could be driving an old car, but they're doing well financially, or they could be driving the best car and not, don't. And stop putting yourself
Hmm.
in, like, stop, get out of their mind. And I really like train them, and my husband now uses it. It's like it is, and I even when I wrote the policies and procedures, it's like stop putting yourself in the clients and or customer. You don't know their
Yep.
finances. You recommend this for the car because they need it, one, two, three, etc. And they will authorize what they need to authorize. If they want to do it, great. If they don't want to do it, and they can, sometimes they may not want to do the job, not because of their finances. Maybe they're going on vacation, they're like, oh, I'll do it in a month. You know what I mean? Like, we need
Yep.
to stop also over analyzing what the other person is thinking. Like, someone told me, get out of people's minds.
Yes.
And another thing I have to bring into here, I know I didn't read the book yet, but I definitely want to read it. I've been following her a lot. Mel Robbins, let them.
Mhm.
They want to think this about me? Let them. Who cares? I cannot control
Yep.
every single thing. And this is sometimes why we stand in our own way, because, oh my goodness, I want to post this I want to post this, but oh shoot, what is
What
my
if they
aunt gonna
think?
think about it?
Hmm.
Oh no, no, no. Oh, I can't go to the Super Bowl because, oh my goodness, what are they gonna say about me? Like, I worked on it. Who cares? Let
Yeah.
them think however they want to think, because at the end of the day, it is you. You want to live with you, and you want to be happy living with that version of you.
Yeah. It's your life, so why are you letting other people make those decisions for you? I'm not.
Thank you. Like, exactly. It is your life. It is your life.
Yeah.
Don't, it's your life. It's not the kids' lives. It's not your partner's life. It is not your friend's life, your mom's life, etc. And stop also wanting to like save and rescue everybody. Just save yourself first.
Yeah.
Like,
So
people,
true.
and that's how I was too. Like, oh, I want to change the world. You know how you change the world?
Change
If you have the
yourself.
idea of wanting how to change, you change yourself, because guess what? Once you change yourself and the whole thing, your whole lineage is going to change, and
Hmm.
that's how you change the world, right? Like, I am not making the same patterns and same mistakes as, like I said, my parents did, right? I'm making different mistakes, right? However, I'm teaching my kids differently, right? Now, they are learning some things from me. And I even tell them, like, the things that you don't like, guess what? My son is an adult already. He's 18, almost 19, and
So
Avery's
crazy.
13. You change them. I know.
Hmm.
You change them. You change the things that you were taught from us that doesn't agree with you, because guess what? The times are changing. We're different technology, different time, different, etc. But it's really important to stop um, giving your power away. I need to add something. I'm sorry. I know I
No,
talk too
you're
much.
fine.
Anyway, I was contacted by a prospect client, and due to this, usually I don't do this. I kind of talk to them on the phone, and then I take them on as a client, test them, and go on. But this child situation was a little bit different. So, and he's younger, and I just wanted to see him first. My gut intuition said, you see him first. You see the family first, and then you commit. So I go in to see the family. And, we're talking, we're connecting. My main thing is always connecting with people,
Hmm.
connecting with clients. And the dad asked me, so are you gonna make him talk?
Oh, geez.
And my answer is always, I don't make them do anything,
Yeah.
right? I show them the way, I show them the strategies. I work with them. We do all sorts of activities, all sorts of things. However, they will talk when they talk.
Hmm.
And I don't have the magic wand. If I did, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know what I would
None of us
be.
do.
Yeah, no one does have the magic wand, and no one makes you do anything. No one makes you angry. No one makes you choose to be angry. You choose to react. You choose to this. You choose to that.
Yeah. And again,
So,
that's how we get in our own way. It's placing blame or saying, well, so and so made me feel this way. Or even saying, like, I know that I'm in anger right now. Okay, but you have a choice in that moment. Do you stay in anger or do you move it to a better feeling emotion? Because if not,
right.
you're standing in your own way.
Yeah. And if you are legitimately angry and you want to release that, you just do the anger release or whatever, you do it by yourself or however. And I know it's easier said than done. I get it. I mean, I still sit in meetings and I'm like, oh, ah, and they make me angry. They make me angry. See, I use that. And however, I just, learn to release it instead of reacting. And sometimes I do react, but guess what? I go and instead of dwelling and, oh my goodness, Denise, why did you react? And why did you say what you said? I mean, I left you a voice message the other day about it. I accept it. Okay, Denise, you did this. You uttered those words. Accept them. I'm accepting this fact. I'm forgiving myself, and I'm making different choices.
Hmm.
Because the dwelling doesn't even, what
It's
is it
already
going to
passed.
do?
It's already passed. That's my favorite. One of my favorite quotes is the past and the future do not exist. So let it go. We can't do anything
Exactly.
about it.
And I know you tell me that all the time when I go
Hmm.
in and say, I said this, I said that, and you're
Yeah,
like, it's gone, it's
it's
done.
done.
And you're right, you're right. And I said it, but I'm taking accountability
Yeah. And then you
before
can make a
I
choice next time differently.
exactly, differently, exactly. And then also think like, okay, even if they're gonna think this of you, let them.
Yeah, because we can't control that. And that's a whole other episode. But yeah,
Yeah.
people are always going to judge us. And I've told you that before. I'm like, everybody's judging. It's human nature. We judge and we
Mhm.
say we don't judge. It's okay.
Yeah. And it goes back to being compassionate with yourself.
Hmm.
So I think we gave a lot of action steps, didn't we? The
Yeah,
whole the whole episode was
there's a bunch to take away. And it's always reflection. It always goes back to that because healing is it's an ongoing thing and it's looking at your life and it's getting real with yourself. Like there's so many layers to healing. And if you are not getting what you want in your life, does it mean you're not healed? To an extent, but none of us are healed, because
no.
it's an
And if someone
ongoing
says,
thing.
you know how I feel when someone
I know.
says
Yeah. If
I'm
someone says,
healed.
I'm healed, no, you're not. No, you're not.
It's like,
Nobody's
okay.
healed. We're still here on this planet, which means we are healing. But this is another avenue to look at of, okay, these things aren't going well in my life. Okay, you're in your own way. So what do you need to do about it?
Exactly. What do you need to do about it? And if you don't want to do anything about it, also accept that.
Yeah.
Say, I'm in my own way. I'm in my own way. I'm not ready right now. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even if you see it, even if you're not ready to change it, and even if you know that you're giving the excuses, even though that you know that, say it out loud to yourself, not to people. Just say, like, look at the mirror, look in the mirror and say, I know I'm standing in my own way. I'm accepting it right now. This sometimes just gives you peace because you're not burdening yourself anymore.
Amen to that.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, the action step is truly, truly, truly be honest with yourself if you want to change. And if you think that you don't want to change, just tell yourself that I see it, I don't want to change. Fuck this shit. I don't want to. I don't want to heal.
Yeah, end of story.
End the story. Instead of saying, oh, well, I am, but I don't have time. I don't have the money, and da
I'll
da da
do it in
da.
six
And I don't have the
months.
partner. I'll do it in 6 months. No, I'll do it in 2026.
Hmm.
Legit, just say, you know what? I don't want to change right now. I don't feel like it. And
Yep.
sometimes I say that to myself. Like, I'm like, you know what? I want to stay angry because sometimes anger is a healthy emotion. We
Hmm.
just, society has taught us that anger is not a healthy
Yeah.
emotion. All of our emotions are there for a reason. They're
Mhm.
there to serve us. Right. And sometimes and I've told you that in voice messages. I'm like, you know what? I just want to stay angry right now. I'm staying
Yeah.
angry. But that doesn't mean that you're gonna, kind of like dump all of your
Yeah.
BS on other
And you're
people.
not going
Do
to
it.
stay there forever because,
And you're
again, it's
not.
recognizing it's a choice. Our thing is when
Exactly.
someone realizes like this emotion isn't serving me, okay, well, then go ahead and change it then.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I think this is it, girl.
Okay, guys.
Wow. I love
And
these episodes. We're not even scripting.
no, guys, we're just winging it, but
We're
we come up
totally
with
winging
topics.
it.
Yeah,
And I
and
love it.
that's
And I
fine.
think we've been getting some more success with those. They're
And
getting
good
downloaded
feedback.
more.
So please keep it coming, guys. We really do. This is still a baby podcast, even though what we're on, I don't even know what episode we're on anymore, but we're almost to a
Oh,
thousand
I don't
downloads.
know. I know
So
we are almost 1,000 downloads.
yeah,
Like this is insane.
yeah. So we're
Like
still a
I
baby though. So
swear.
give us feedback. Do you like this style? I mean, we're not going to script everything, but like, is this okay for you guys? The bantering back and forth, just the tips woven within. Shoot us a message on Instagram. Like, we legit want to hear from people. Yes, this podcast is therapeutic for us, but like, it's also for the world. We're not
Yes.
just spending the time to
Yeah.
do it for us.
And let us know, like we're game. We'll talk about anything and everything, literally. We will tell you our experiences. We're very honest, we're very transparent. We're putting everything out there. And we would love, love, love to hear if there's something specific that, maybe a question. It could be a question that we can kind of develop into a podcast episode. We love hearing feedbacks. I know we've been getting some
Yep.
privately because we do understand that sometimes, people don't want to put it out in public, but if you don't feel like it, you can definitely send us private messages.
Yep. All right,
Thank you. Thank
guys.
you.
See you on the next episode.